My name is Mari and welcome to Baking Tips with Mari Gioia. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you a recipe that is super easy to make and it's perfect for the upcoming fall season. It's pumpkin scones with maple butter. So let me walk you through the ingredients so we can get started. Here we have, for the dry ingredients, we have all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, brown sugar, the cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, pumpkin salt, baking soda, and baking powder. You could also sub all this for pumpkin spice, 2 teaspoons, and it's the same thing. We have cold butter, eggs, pumpkin puree, heavy cream, which is also super cold, with vanilla. And what we're gonna do is simply give it a quick little mix to the dry ingredients just to combine everything together before adding the rest. I am going to use my stand mixer, but you can also do it by hand because it literally is super easy. Actually, it's better if I do this. There we go. And let's get started. So now you want to add, little by little, your pieces of cold butter. I kept it in the freezer up until this moment, and I cut it up in super small pieces just because that way it's better to blend it with your dry ingredients. And what you're looking for is to bring it into bit pieces, which is what's gonna make our scones super flaky. Then you want to get that going. Beautiful. So we're going to leave that for a few minutes. Well, for a minute really, because you don't want to overdo it either, because then the butter's going to start melting. But here with my vanilla heavy cream, I'm going to add my egg and I had a spatula right here, sorry. And my pumpkin puree. I'm going to, and then where's my, here it is. I am simply going to whisk them up to make sure I don't overmix my dough. And then we are going to accompany this, oh, what a fancy word. This is going to be smothered, that's more like it, in a delicious maple butter that we're gonna do in just a little bit. And this can be frozen and kept in the freezer for up to 2 months in case you don't want to bake them all at once. And in case you have people over, just take them out of the freezer, bake them up, and you're good to go. So this looks like it needs a few more whisks. And it's very extremely important that you have all of your ingredients, the egg, the cream, the pumpkin puree, and the butter very cold, because again, that's what's gonna make this recipe, this scones, super flaky, which in the end turns out to be the perfect scone. Now I'm going to use my small spatula and we're going to add all of our wet ingredients at once and watch it come together. And this really is super easy to make. You don't have to be intimidated by it because, again, nothing beats homemade scones, and you can do so many variations of this, and this is coming along beautifully. And then whatever's left in the bottom, I'm just gonna mix it by hand because you don't, oh, that smell of pumpkin, because you don't wanna overdo it. Okay, so now I am just going to flour my surface. Oh my God, the smell. This is perfect for the morning after Thanksgiving, for weekends, people coming over, you name it. I am going to flour my surface so I can finish mixing it up by hand. Okay. You want to preheat your oven at 400 degrees and line a baking sheet with parchment paper or with seal pads, whatever you have. And with the help of your hand and a little bit more flour, you are going to flatten it out in a rectangle or a square or whatever comes out. It doesn't really matter. We don't have to be too precise. But you do want it to be even enough so they all come out somewhat similar. When I used to make this for a coffee shop, I would just use a round cookie cutter and I would do them in circles. But here, I am going to do them in triangles because I don't have a cookie cutter with me. That should be enough. It should be about 1/4 inch thick because this is going to rise. Nah, that should do it. Then with a sharp knife, we are going to cut it in half. Then cut it in half again. And then make triangles. And you should have about 8 pieces. It depends on how you make them. If you make them in circles, you make it more, make it less. It really depends how you go about it. Then we are ready to put them in our baking tray. But now you need to put some egg wash, which is just basically an egg whipped up with, or mixed in really, with some water, milk, or heavy cream, whichever you have in hand. Doesn't really matter. And we are going to sprinkle some raw sugar on top to make it nice and crunchy and extra yummy. With a little brush, you are just going to brush your scones because this is also going to help to make them nice and brown. And of course, help the sugar adhere. Stick to it. Okay. Hopefully yours turn out to be a little bit more precise in shape because mine are a little uneven, but that's okay. If I don't care, you don't care. And then generous amount of raw sugar, which is going to give that delicious crunch and texture that I personally love in my scones. You can do this so many different ways. You could add chocolate chips if you wanted to. If you like pumpkin and chocolate, you could do, maybe add some nuts to it. Really, whichever you like. You can also do on the side a super easy glaze of just heavy cream or milk and a little bit of powdered sugar and a drizzle on top when it comes out of the oven. Whatever floats your boat, it's completely acceptable. It's a matter of just doing it because it's really good. And then you are going to bake this for about 15 to 18 minutes in a 400-degree oven. And in the meantime, we're going to do our maple butter. Okay, so while the scones are baking, we are going to do this super easy maple butter that goes perfectly with our scones, but with anything really. With a country bread, with a whole wheat bread, whatever you fancy, you can do this. So we're gonna add our softened, at room temperature, butter, which if you, salted. I don't use unsalted butter. I personally bake with salted butter, but that's totally up to you. Because I know some people like to use unsalted butter to control the salt. I have my doubts about that, but it's really optional and personal. If you are like me and you forget to bring out your butter to use it at room temperature, or you just don't have the patience to wait for it, we have a tutorial on how to bring it to room temperature in no time. You'll find the link below, so just go check it out, do that, and then come back. We are also going to add our brown sugar, which we have with some spices. I use cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. You can definitely omit this, or you can add more spices, less spices. It's really up to you, but I do think it goes beautiful with our scones and with the maple syrup. And then this, and of course, maple syrup. Please do use good quality maple syrup because that really does make a difference. Don't use Aunt Jemima, which is not maple syrup, but in case you think it's something you could sub it for, don't. Try and make the effort to get a good quality maple butter. It's really crucial. And you just let the stand mixer do the work. You can also do it by hand with a hand mixer, but I'd rather do it here. And we're just gonna mix it up with a paddle attachment for about 2 minutes until it's nice and fluffy and everything is incorporated. So, after a good whip, and about 2-3 minutes, we have a beautiful, beautiful maple butter. You can do this ahead of time and just keep it in the fridge and have it ready for whenever you want to indulge. This is not something for every day, of course, but whenever you feel like, I don't know, being happy and have fall flavors all year round, you can do this. You can also add it on top of pancakes, waffles, French toast, biscuits. I mean, the possibilities are really, really endless. So now we are going to put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes for it to harden a little bit and the flavors to like kind of come together. So it gives us that nice, nutty, sweet flavor from the maple butter. From the maple syrup. And that's it. So our scones have baked for about 15 minutes. And you can see, which one do I want? Let's do the small one. Look at this. Look at the sugar. Look at the crunchiness on top. And look at the moist, flaky inside. This is what a real scone should look like. And let's see. Guys, this is money right there. But just because I'm extra, remember our maple butter? Oh, sorry. The maple butter that we made has been in the fridge for 30 minutes. And boy, what I'm going to do is you see, they're so flaky, they break. But it's okay. It's all good. It's home cooking. This is what fall dreams are made of. Breakfast dreams are made of. Perfection. I hope you spend I hope you love this recipe, and if you do it, please make sure to tag me, and the recipe is going to be found in the link below. Bye! Until next time, don't forget to subscribe!